I'm Strawberry Station, and I'm not going to be here for much longer. 7 days from the time that I'm recording this, I'm going to be on a plane and I'm going to be moving here. I'm going to Canada, baby. I've got a working visa lined up and I'm going to be out there for 2 years. It's easily the biggest, craziest, most mental decision I've made in my life, but I cannot wait to get out there. It's going to be so good exploring a new country with a clean slate. I know basically nobody out there. I've never even set foot in the country before, and for the most part I don't know what to expect. I know some of the cultural stereotypes that are associated with Canada. I know they're supposed to be a polite people, it's supposed to be quite a cosmopolitan place, it's got some of the most beautiful scenery and wilderness in the world, and I'm hoping to see all of those things. But ultimately, I'm going to be living as a Canadian for the next 2 years. I'm going to get to see the real Canada and basically become one myself. So I can't wait to get out there. And this video is just a little bit of a preamble to all of that, just to kind of go over some of the things that I'm hoping to do and possibly some of the people that I'm going to see as well. So here we go. Vlog, baby. It begins here. I guess one of the first things I'm going to have to get used to is, strangely enough, the sound of my own voice. Vlogging is not something that I ever really wanted to do in the first place. I always kind of looked at people that vlogged and thought, oh, these guys are vacuous, these guys have too much time on their hands. But the reality is, if I don't do this, I'm going to be really disappointed and craving kind of memories of those things that I did. And it's more than just that as well. I want to share it with my family. Mum, dad, my brothers, my sisters-in-law, my aunties, my uncles, everyone, and my friends back home. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and I'm going to have some serious regrets if I don't actually record these things. And of course, the bonus is, you guys get to join me on that journey as well. So I'll be posting regular content. Some of it will be quite touristy, you know, some of the big sites, and some of it will just be daily Canadian life, I guess. The more mundane things that a Canadian might think I'm weird for even recording, but to me it's all going to be novel and really interesting. I can't wait to get out there and be a Canadian. Which brings me neatly onto the first point on my list of things that I want to do, which is to go to Tim Hortons. Yeah, Tim Hortons, baby. Ding. So Tim Hortons is a fairly globally known brand at this point. It's Canada's answer to Starbucks, from what I can understand. It's a coffee chain, they do a bit of fast food, all that sort of thing. They've recently started opening branches in the UK. The branch in Leicester, in fact, is the biggest in the country. It's huge, it's about 3 stories tall. But I've managed to resist the urge to go, because it opened a couple of months ago, when I'd already made my commitment that the first thing that I'm going to do when I get off the plane is go and get a double and some Timbits from Tim Hortons. Now, I'm fully aware that it's part of the Canadian psyche nowadays to rip on Tim Hortons and say, oh, it's not what it used to be, and oh, ever since the Brazilians took over, the coffee tastes like, well, piss water, really. But it's part of the Canadian experience, and I fully intend to have some. So you will probably find in the first video there's me sat in a Tim Hortons looking incredibly disappointed as I try my first taste of Timbits. And once the obligatory Tim Hortons is out of the way, I'm going to be spending my first week in Toronto, which of course is the biggest city in Canada. To start with, I'm going to be doing all the touristy stuff. First on the list is, of course, the CN Tower, which is the biggest building in Canada, I think. Somebody might have to correct me on that. And I'll just be sat up there on a nice, clear morning, hopefully, fingers crossed. I'm just going, yeah, I want to go there. Yeah, I want to go there. Yeah, I want to go there. And checking it out from a bird's eye view. There's lots of neighbourhoods I want to check out. Now, I'm most interested in kind of the ethnic neighbourhoods. There's places like Chinatown and even a Greek town. Beyond that, I'm meeting a guy called Indie Advent. Now, he's a real dude from Private Suite magazine, and I'm looking forward to meeting him big time, because he lives in Toronto. He'll be the first proper, let's say, local Canadian that I meet, and he'll be able to show me all of his local haunts, all the places he goes drinking, all the places he goes eating. Toronto being a city that I hope to get to know very well over the coming 2 years. He's my first point of call when it comes to that, so thank you for the offer, dude. I can't wait to meet you, and let's go explore the city together, baby. But of course there's a serious edge to it. The first week that I'm going to spend there, I'm going to be doing some serious admin as well. First and foremost, I need to get myself a Canadian bank account. Now, I've sent some money over to Scotiabank already. We were one of the big banks, obviously based out in Nova Scotia, which is that way in Halifax. But I'm decided to bank with them because they're very welcoming and open to kind of new arrivals, and I'm a new arrival, so thanks guys. I'm set up. So I'm going to go into a branch there and activate my account. After that, the whole aspect of renting a place should be easier, but not until I get myself a Canadian cell phone. So a cell phone is second on the list after my bank account. I'll be able to ring people and just say, hey, have you got a room for sale? I've tried it on local websites so far, like Kijiji, but it's always been kind of awkward because pretty much every ad that I've answered to, it's been A, can you pay this in advance for the January payment? And B, do you have a cell phone number? You can call me on +5, +4, all these numbers that are going to incur a hell of a lot of charges if I call. So getting a Canadian cell phone is the second priority so that I can call these people and start hitting the pavements and trying to find a place to live. Last thing on the admin list is to get myself an SIN number, so I've got to walk into a kind of local government branch and get myself set up on the local tax system so that when I actually get a job, I'm actually above board and I'm paying into the Canadian tax system, baby. And most people would probably moan about that, but truth is, I'm honoured to even be accepted into your country, and I really cannot wait to be an honorary Canadian for the next 2 years. And if I'm going to pay money to do it, so be it, baby. Can pie, baby. So once I have all the admin set up, my next job is to take the train southwest to London, Ontario. And I can already hear the jokes pinging around in the comments already. Why would you move to London from England? Ha ha ha. Yeah, trust me, I've had it from literally everybody, so you can cut that shit right now. The main reasons that I'm moving to London, Ontario. Number one, it's a fairly similar size to my local city of Leicester. It's about 300,000-400,000 people, which sounds like my sort of limit, really. I've never been a particularly big city guy. I've always liked the thought of a more insular community, but one where you can do all the things that you want to do, things that you can enjoy on a daily basis. On top of that, it's a fairly young city. I'm aware that there are universities there, the University of Western Ontario, Fanshawe College and things like that, so fingers crossed I'll be able to meet some people my own age. So again, like everything else on my trip to Canada, it's a bit of a gamble, and I know it's not the most fashionable destination, but I'm going to make the best go of it, and hopefully I can meet some really cool people there. So, London, Ontario, coming to get you, baby! That's really good sake. Thank you, Jamie. This is really good shit. Now, once I'm settled in London, Ontario, I have another big trip to make, which is to Ottawa. Now, the girl who has made the poster behind me for yesterday's jam, Heskets, I've got to know you really well over the past year or so. You and your partner, Joss. I'm really looking forward to meeting you guys. I want you guys to show me Ottawa. Now, I'm aware it's the seat of Canadian Parliament, and I'd like to see that and all the kind of traditional stuff. But on top of that, I want you to show me what the real Ottawa's like. You know, what it's like nowadays for people that actually live there. If it's really boring, then so be it. We'll make it fun. Ottawa, baby, yeah. But of course there's more to Ontario than just the cities. First and foremost, a big tourist destination, I need to go and check out Niagara Falls, which I'm told is a bit of a mini Vegas on the Canadian side. There's supposed to be a bunch of casinos and some tourist attractions, theme parks. On top of that, I'd also really like to check out the wilderness in Ontario, see some of the wildlife and the Northern Lights. Now, the Northern Lights are definitely on my tick list. They are something that I really want to check out. And checking out some of what I hope is pristine wilderness as well. It's going to be cool. Got sausages, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to miss this cooking, guys. I'm going to miss this. That's a little cameo from Strawberry Station's mum right there. It's one of those things that you just can't get anywhere else in the world. Unless you kind of buy your way into another family. We'll see what happens. Now, I couldn't do a video about my things that I'm looking forward to without talking about the food. It all starts in Toronto, to be honest. I mean, the first thing is a pea-meal bacon sandwich, which I've heard is kind of like the local national dish of Toronto. From what I've heard, it sounds like a glorified bacon cob, which I would get back in Leicester. What I'm really looking forward to in Toronto, though, is sushi pizza, which on the face of it sounds pretty nasty, but in reality sounds pretty good once you read into what it actually is. It's like a toasted base of rice, and then the rest of it is just normal sushi. So it comes out like a pizza, but it's like having a plate of sushi, just a big one. And I love sushi, so I'm really looking forward to trying that. That is my most hyped meal of Toronto. Unless Indy shows me something that's even better. That's your challenge, dude. Beyond that, it's just an exploration of all the classic Canadian taste. Maple syrup obviously goes without saying. I've been holding off having maple syrup until I get there, a bit like Tim Hortons. That's more because I really love golden syrup. Golden syrup is the shit, guys. If you ever get a chance to try it, that's like Britain's maple syrup. It's made from all the garbage parts of the sugar refining process. Crouton's pretty good. It's like chips or fries, as you guys might call them over there, covered in gravy and cheese curds. Now, the uninitiated in the UK would probably just say, oh, that's just chips and gravy with a bit of cheese on it. But nah, it's quite different. I've had it from one place in Sheffield and it was pretty tasty, to be fair. And I'm really looking forward to see what you guys do with it. Now, I'm aware it's more of a Quebec thing, but I know it's kind of done nationwide. And last little point, I'd like to try butter tarts as well. Butter tarts sound really cool. On the point of Quebec, I'm really hoping to visit that part of the country. However, I must note that most of the French that I know is Pidgin French that I learnt in years 7 to 9 at school, so 11 to 14. Never really used it, and I understand very little at this point. So I think it's about the time that I should really be learning a little bit as well. I feel like it would be ignorant not to go to the French bit of Canada without learning a bit of French. I'm hoping to take an evening class, and if anyone out there actually speaks any French and wants to teach me a little bit of kind of survival French for French Canada, because I'm aware that they have their own lingo and that sort of thing as well, then please get in touch, because I'd really like to know. I really want to ride Trans-Canadian Railway. Now that goes all the way from Toronto out to Vancouver. It's a big journey. It takes 4 days and it goes from coast to coast. So it starts off in Toronto, goes through Saskatchewan, across the Rockies, and it spits you out in Vancouver Island. It just sounds amazing. It's a holiday in itself on wheels, and it's the best way, from what I can tell, to experience the country from coast to coast and see all of the constituent parts that make Canada what it is. To some people, Canada can be this quite vast and disconnected place, but this train is one of the things that really connects it and gives it an identity. So I'm really looking forward to getting on that train. I know it's expensive and I know it may cost me a lot of money to even get on board, but I want to check it out and I want to see every corner that this country has to offer. And as a stretch goal, hopefully I'll do that before April, because when I come back, I will be going back to Toronto to play at Essential 2020, which is the second year of the big Future Funk Festival. For those who don't know, I like to DJ and make Future Funk music. I'm really looking forward to actually sharing a bill with those guys and just hanging out in the city. But anyway, I digress. This is just the setup. So that's just a few of the ideas. But if you have any other things that you think I should see, taste, or people I should meet while I'm there, realistic people I should meet please, then please get in touch and tell me what I should do, because I've got 2 years to burn, baby, and I just can't wait to get out there. It's going to be amazing. So thank you to everybody who watched, thank you to everybody who got to this point, and my Canadian adventure begins. See you there, baby. Peace.